Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have back with us Pri Cosentino, who's the founder and financial advisor at Fern Prosperity, and we'll be talking about maintaining lifestyle and legacy in retirement. Welcome back to the program, Pri.
The pleasure to be again here, Mike. I'm so excited to be able to share a little bit more about something that truly touched my heart, that is about enjoying retirement and keeping legacy.
Yeah. I think that's a big point that too many people don't really frame up in their mind properly. They think I need to prepare for and get to retirement, but they don't factor in to and through retirement, meaning they're just focused on the retirement age of X age, whatever age they want to retire. But how many years are you going to live in retirement, and how productive are those years going to be? And how can you maintain your lifestyle? And then past that, do you want to die with zero money? Maybe some people do. You hear that online, but many people want to say, I want to get to retirement strong. I want to live through retirement strong, and I want to have enough money left over to talk about a legacy for my family. So let's jump into that, all three of those aspects. So how can retirees maintain their lifestyle without compromising that financial security?
Retirement is not about slowing down, as you mentioned. It's about pacing. So it's about understanding that we are running a marathon and we need to be able to enjoy the whole time. As you mentioned, give or take, retirement is 1/3 of our lives. So we work about almost, not exactly, but 2/4 of our lives, and the rest is retirement and a little bit of in our childhood. So if you don't know the rhythm of your spending, that can really hurt your retirement. But if you know that, you can enjoy today without risking tomorrow. So the big important piece is the bright map that allows you to choose enjoying in security, as well as my desire is to leave money for my legacy. I can do that.
Yeah, that's huge. So actually, what does it look like to maintain lifestyle when you are talking with a client and saying, let's talk about maintaining your lifestyle? What does that conversation look like and sound like?
It's also understanding what matters for them the most, understanding what's important for them, what's a lifestyle, what they like to do or not, right? So lifestyle in the sense is, do you like to enjoy meal outside? Do you like to cook at home? Do you like to travel? And a ton of times when we start those conversations, Mike, it's interesting that I get a few clients saying to me, I never thought about that. Because they are just so used to be living their work, and that's not only them, that's normal. We work a lot. Our culture puts us focus on working as many hours as possible, that we don't think what's important. And through retirement, the time that we can enjoy the best of our life, we will be able to do those things. Are you someone that likes to travel? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. We need to figure that out. Is that important for you? Because if that is, we need to account for that spending. Do you like to, for example, enjoy a wine? That's a different thing. Or do you prefer to cook at home? All of those things need to be considered when we are talking about lifestyle. Do you prefer to go out for theaters? Do you have any hobbies? All of those are going to make the difference when planning for your retirement. So I would even give you a tip here for you that's listening us at home or in your car. Have you thought about what is important for you? What are the things that you like to do in your life? That's going to be considered your lifestyle, and that's important for you when thinking about retirement.
I like how you started off that point with it depends on the client. Let's find out what's important to them. Because too many times I hear that a client goes in to meet with an advisor and they come out feeling really confused because they wanted one thing and they were told, no, no, that's not important. You need to do this. And really, it's all about the customer. It's all about the client. So when you say, well, what's important to them? I think that's really powerful because only then can you structure up some ideas to present that would meet their needs.
That's correct, Mike. It's realistic. Doesn't matter what I like, doesn't matter what you like. It only matters for the client's retirement, what's important for them. And it's tough to see that, but needs to fit.
And everybody's different. I think that's what's really exciting too is one person might say, here's what my retirement looks like and maintaining this lifestyle includes, and they list 5 or 6 things that the next client would go, oh, here's what my retirement looks like. And everybody might have some different things. I had a couple of uncles that worked in the unions and the trades, and they were, back in the I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, worked taking asbestos down out of buildings, and they worked a hard job. Both of them retired to Florida, and they literally, play golf, play pool, and go to the ocean. And that's all they do. And many people would go, oh, I'd be so bored with that. And they look at it and think, I worked hard for 20, 30, 40 years. I'm just going to relax. Some people are wired to say, hey, I'm retired, but now I'm going to start that nonprofit. But now I'm going to start that business. And both answers are perfectly fine because they're the answers for you.
That's exactly what I'm trying to mean here. None of those stories, none of those peoples were wrong. We just need to plan their arm for them because each one of them will need a different plan because each one of those things require a different lifestyle, a different financial structure for us to put in the right place.
So let's talk a little bit about the other aspect of the topic for today, legacy and retirement. What are some of the things that you tell your clients that are steps to be taken to make sure that their wealth that they built is preserved for the future generations? Because I think it's funny to say online, I want to die with, $0 in the bank. That's, people just mean, I just want to live it up. But many people are looking at it saying, I want my children and my children's children to be taken care of. So what are some of those steps that ensure wealth is preserved so that legacy is created for those future generations?
Wealth is like a tree. If you only pick the fruit, it will disappear. If you care for the roots, it keeps feeding your family for years. So that's what smart planning does. It's protecting the roots so the fruits can keep growing and can keep coming. When we are talking about wealth for future generations, there are a diverse amount of products that can help you create the right structures to give to your family and for your legacy what's important. But you need to take care of those roots. So you need to have growth. You need to feed them. You need to put the right products. There are products there that will allow you to protect the principle and will allow guaranteed growth. And there's products that will allow you to have tax benefits. All of those are easy options for you when we are talking about future generations, and they exist. But it's important to choose the right one that fits what is your desire. But for that, you need to be careful with your tree.
Yep. Yeah, we could take that tree analogy a long way with, the roots and watering it and all of those things. And I think that that's really powerful. And that really is because I think that sometimes, you think about the old saying, shoot for the moon. And if you miss it, you'll still get the stars. Well, if you plan for just getting to retirement, well, that's just, step one. But if you plan on leaving a large legacy to your family, and maybe it's not as large as you planned, at least there will be a legacy to leave. So I think that mindset and those goals are really, really powerful, right? Do you find that you help actually put pen to paper and figures for those goals, and it really kind of helps your clients expand their thinking?
That's for sure. When we are working together, we truly can put in the right path, going back to the tree analogy, right? Giving how much water do you have to put in those? If you want a specific tree, so how much water do you want if you want an apple tree, if it's a grape tree, those are different styles for legacy, but each one is going to need a specific amount of nutrients, it's going to need a specific amount of water, it's going to give us a specific fruit, and all of those will allow money to grow because all those trees gives you opportunities. But if you're doing in the right way, and there is the right way for us to plan that when we understand what matters the most. So
Yeah.
powerful way, I think, to explain the possibilities that they exist. And tons of times we don't see people talking about it because it might not be what's the best for the advisor. But I have to tell you, there are the right products and they are important for you and for your legacy, and that can help you build what you want to leave for your family.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about balance, because I think that if sometimes people go, okay, I need to, do this, and they go all in, but then they neglect another aspect of their retirement planning. So how do you balance the desire for independence with the need for financial security? And I think that sometimes people, when we were talking previously about medical expenses, you can't really plan for a lot of that. Well, the same with independence. What if you start needing, some help with long-term care? Well, then that brings independence questions. That brings expense questions. So talk a little bit about that correlation.
Sure. So when we're talking about retirement, we're talking about enjoyment, right? So enjoyment and independence are not luxuries. They are the fuel for retirement. But if you're only focused on numbers, you run out of energy. But when we are planning with purpose, we can truly create a retirement that's not just long, but meaningful. When we are talking about, for example, long-term care, we need to accommodate the options if that happens. Not just the number, but the possibilities, doing this task that can help us with the right products to put us in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most important part, is understanding that we want the freedom to choose everything, but also the part that we can independently choose and enjoy our retirement. The best way for us to do that is planning. Not that we are going to be dollar by dollar, but we have our direction. So we understand that I can spend well today and I can spend well tomorrow. We don't need to be living with the fear of missing out today, because we are enjoying today, but we are also thinking about tomorrow and being able to enjoy tomorrow.
Yeah. And it just all gets down into balance, as well as feeling like you can live a little. Meaning, if you want to make sure you have enough money for retirement, put a plan in place, but then don't be a miser and never go out to dinner or never take that trip to see the grandkids. So talk a little bit about the role joy and independence play in a fulfilling retirement, because I think that if you feel like so constricted you can't go out to eat or can't go see a movie because you're going to spend money, that doesn't bring you joy and peace.
It's about a cash flow design to solve your problems. We can live in peace when we are being able to schedule the possibilities that can show up. When we put both on our calendar, we are able to generate opportunities for us to be able to go see the grandkids. We are able to have things done as well as have everything in place for any scenarios that can pop up. So when we are thinking about retirement, we start thinking about the possibilities that can happen. So like we mentioned with long-term care, oh, I'm saying for sure that's going to happen. No, I can't. As we mentioned, the only thing that we can know for sure is that one day we will die. We don't even know which day. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do, I'm going to calculate the possibilities of if I need long-term care, what's going to be my plan in place for that. If I have some concerns, I'm going to work on my cash flow to create the possibilities that will give me the freedom that I need so I can enjoy everything. Because when we have preparation, our brain will start to feel free and know that the basics are covered. So then I don't feel concerned about going and visiting my grandkids. I don't feel concerned about traveling with my spouse. I don't feel concerned about opening my foundation. I can do all of those things because I know that everything is in place. My essentials are taken care of, and all the other choices, they feel much lighter.
And it really is about perspective too, isn't it? If you think one thing, it's going to make you feel one thing, but when you have a plan in place, it kind of relieves that fear and you can move forward in life and really enjoy many of the other things, and it has a ripple effect.
Yeah, that's why planning is really the gateway to freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. I love it. So what are some final thoughts that you have, Pri, on this topic? This has been super powerful, but how would you wrap up your advice to a client on maintaining their lifestyle and their legacy in retirement?
You start with planning. Stop and talk with the right people. Connect with me so we can start building this planning together. Understand what's more important for you, what matters for you the most. Putting in place so you can understand your essentials, that they are secure, and then all your other choices are available. If this resonates, I suggest you to connect and look for what is the difference between just numbers and what is the purpose for your retirement and for your legacy.
Yes. Well, what is the best way that someone can learn a little bit more and then also reach out and connect with you?
The easiest way is to connect in my website, pricosentino.com, pricosentino.com. Over there, you're going to find my email, my direct line, as well as you will be able to book an appointment with me so we can talk a little bit about your retirement and what matters the most to you.
Excellent. Well, Pri, thank you so much for coming back on. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you.
My pleasure.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.